Oh, hi Mark. I'm Amy Kate and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm talking about one of the worst movies ever made, The Room. The reason I'm talking about this is because The Disaster Artist comes out in limited release this week and I'm super excited. And I had never seen The Room before, which is really weird considering it was talked about a whole lot while I was in school and nobody ever showed it to me. So I thought I would take the time to watch this before going to see The Disaster Artist with Dave and James Franco, just to get kind of an idea of what I was in for. So if you would like to see my review of The Disaster Artist, it will be linked in the end card once that video is out, probably on Friday. This probably isn't the worst movie ever made, but it's one of the worst movies ever made that is popular. And the reason it is popular is because it is so bad, and the reason that I'm really excited to see The Disaster Artist is because I'm excited to see kind of the behind the scenes and understand why Tommy Wiseau actually made this movie and how he even got it made and what these actors were thinking being on this set, because this movie, the acting is so bad. Like, it's just horrible. It's just, that's probably the worst about this movie for me, is just the acting and the writing are tremendously boring and terrible. Maybe not boring, I think it's more funny because it's bad, and it's not like necessarily boring. They do hit the same plot points like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it's not really doing anything. It doesn't really build up to anything at all. It's just the same thing keeps happening, and then it goes 0 to 60 like that, and there's a climax and an end. And if you have seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, you should definitely go see this or find it somewhere, because it's just so stupid. And especially if you like filmmaking, this is a textbook on what not to do. I really want to know what was going through the actors' heads, like everybody but Tommy Wiseau, because I kind of know a little bit of his backstory on why he wanted to do all of this and stuff. But some of the actors, like the girl who played Lisa, the guy who played Mark, like, why did they sign up for this, and why were they such bad actors? Like, their line delivery is just horrible. It's horrific. It's just unbelievable. I've never, even with some of the really crappy actors that I had in videos in school, I never had anybody this bad. Their delivery was off constantly. Like, they would pause to put emphasis on certain moments that didn't need to be, and there was so much overacting, like a lot of overacting. There was a scene on a rooftop where everyone was just yelling and screaming at each other, and it was just a huge mess.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
In that scene, for the most part, I was so confused about the relationship of characters. Like, one person had just met another person earlier in the movie, and I'm trying not to do spoilers even though this movie is super old, but there are probably still people who haven't seen it, and I don't want to kind of spoil the journey of the movie for some people, because this movie was surprisingly not spoiled for me. There were some parts that were kind of spoiled, like the funny lines, but that's about it. But there was a scene on a rooftop where characters were yelling at each other, and all of a sudden one of the characters who had just met another character was yelling at them and talking to them like they were their parent, and it was just so strange and weird, and I didn't really grasp the concept of what relationship these people were to each other besides just acquaintances. Also, the concept of time in this movie is super weird and distorted. Like, they make it seem like it's happening over 2 or 3 days, but sometimes it seems like it's a couple weeks. And at the beginning of the movie, someone mentions that Lisa and Johnny have been together for 5 years, but at the end of the movie, Johnny and Lisa talk about being together for 7 years. So is there like a 2-year span between this? I don't know. It's super confusing, and I think that's kind of the fun of it, maybe? And besides the acting being very off and very strange, the writing in this is also just as strange. They jump from subject to subject in conversations and scenes without much transition, or even sometimes without much of a breath. Like, one character will be saying something and then go straight from one sentence into another sentence about something completely different. Sometimes like the way I think, but this is just way too incoherent. And at some points they talk about things that happen in scenes that aren't even in the movie. So maybe there are some deleted scenes somewhere that nobody has seen, or maybe that I was just watching the wrong version of the movie, but I feel like that's just part of the movie. It's not a deleted scene. They just threw this one thing in there and that's it. Or maybe I just missed something? I don't think I did. I was watching this pretty intently. And at one point they even threw a random character in there who acted like he was just friends with all of them, but this was the first time he had ever been in the movie and he wasn't there anymore. So it was just kind of weird and off, and I don't know where they were going with him or if he had been in some deleted scenes again. I don't know. It was just very, very, very strange. And now I'm going to get into probably everybody's favorite part to talk about in this movie is the incredibly weird sex scene montages. There's maybe 5 of them, I think, throughout the entire movie, and the first 3 happen within the first 30-ish minutes. And they reused the same one twice. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one. They just reused it pretty much the exact same one as before, and it's just super strange. And I already know that they're going to talk about this scene in The Disaster Artist, which I'm really looking forward to because it's just off the walls nuts. I'm speechless about this movie for the most part. Like, I don't know what to say about it besides the fact that it's just everything you shouldn't do in a movie. Like, even student films are better than this, I feel like. I did have a couple good things to say about this movie right when I first started watching it. Like, the opening credits sequence is pretty interesting. It's edited very well. But then as soon as that's over, it's not the best editing, and the sound design is just god-awful. Like, there's ADR, especially in those montage scenes, that just does not go with anything that the characters' mouths are doing. And then the scene in the flower shop, Johnny's ADR is totally off.
Oh, hi, Johnny. I didn't know it was you. Here you go.
That's me. How much is it?
It'll be $18.
Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy.
You're my favorite customer.
This movie, I love it, but I kind of don't. That seems super weird. I guess the redeeming quality of this movie is the fact that it gave us such great, horrible scenes to quote.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I think that's it. That's just it. There's just great scenes to quote and make fun of this movie. I think because I watched it by myself, I didn't get the full experience of this movie. So it's a movie that you definitely would need to watch with friends, kind of to make fun of it and just have a good laugh. Those are all my thoughts on The Room. I can't wait to talk about The Disaster Artist with you. Let me know your thoughts on The Room in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, whoever you are. Let me know who you are in the comments down below, and let's be friends. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe if you're new, because I talk movies, TV shows. I have a checklist for just about everything, or I am in the process of making a checklist for different movies, TV shows, and books you should probably check out. So stick around and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!